He's coming, Your Honor. Reported, sir.
Okay, good morning. Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest warrant. It was issued June 3rd. It's charging you with aggravated battery with a firearm. And you have two attorneys here, or is it, I'm sorry, two attorneys in the state. Go ahead. You want to announce again?
Brad Cohen and Sam Zegny for the defendant.
All right. Have you had a chance to review the arrest warrant?
Yes, Judge, we have.
Let's review as well.
And this is pretty clear from the arrest warrant. What happened here was the defendant was angry because the victim in this case, who was a security guard, told him to put away his gun. He then grew angry. He pointed the gun at him and shot him. The victim, this specifically states in the arrest warrant, that he had to move out of the way. He was directly shooting at him. The only reason he got shot in the ankle was because he jumped out of the way at the last minute. This happened in front of a club full of people. There's video of the defendant with the gun in his hand. He has a prior pending open case right now where he's also with a gun and two people were shot. So, Judge, we're going to be asking for no bond on this.
And Judge, if I may, I'm not sure if you're reading the narrative from when the first police officer went out and took statements. But the first police officer that went out and took statements, it clearly says that he shot into the ground. There's nothing in the first statement that says anything about that he pointed it at anyone. And I don't know what the follow-up is, because all we have is the narrative, the police report narrative, that specifically says that there was something about money that fell out of his pants, and there was a witness, his name, I won't mention his name, but he advised security staff that he escorted the individual out, and the individual had a firearm out and shot towards the ground.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, Pooh Shiesty say it ain't so. Now, for the people that don't know what's going on, by the way, I am back. I want to say this. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you guys are already subscribed to the channel, just make sure that you are subscribed, because sometimes YouTube does unsubscribe people when the YouTuber is not active. And let's be honest, I haven't been active, folks. I haven't. But make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And the third thing I would say too, you see that bell icon? Click that. And when you click that, make sure you select all notifications, because I want to get back consistent again. And I see you guys in the comments, yo, Don, where you at, man? You done sold out. You ain't making no YouTube videos. Then I got people DM me, yo, Don, where you at? Like, hey, listen, I haven't sold out, man. Yeah, I'm still here in the trenches with my gang. I'm still here. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. I've just been busy with other stuff, but I want to get consistent for y'all. Let's go. Now, for the people that don't know what's going on, man, and once again, Pooh Shiesty, say it ain't so. Pooh Shiesty is facing a minimum, okay? A minimum of 20 mandatory years if he is convicted. Now, that's crazy, right? Because it seems like every time we get a young artist that we love, he's popping, it seems like we always lose him. Now, it's looking like Pooh Shiesty may be falling into the same thing that we've seen so many young artists fall into, and it's very sad. Now, if you don't know what's going on, let me break it down for you guys. Now, Pooh Shiesty was in the club, and apparently, from what he said in his lyrics, he don't need no security. He got his own fire, okay? Now, we saw the whole video of him and everything, you know, pulling out the fire in the club, but because before he pulled out the fire, he was in the club having a good old time. He had bands. Like, I'm talking about like Juicy J, bands to make her dance. He had bands all in his pockets. Like, his pockets were so fat, it was looking like me on stage. You know what I'm saying? He had them big boy pockets. Bands all in his pockets. And by the way, we are working on that, because I do work out Monday through Friday. But I'm just saying, like, he had currently the Dama's Live pockets on stage. And from what's being said from witnesses, he was on stage and somebody just smacked his money out of his pockets. Now, you know, listen, man, it don't matter if you Pooh Shiesty, it don't matter if you Tupac, it don't matter if you Suge Knight, it don't matter who you is. When money falls to the ground, flies through the air, people are going to be reaching for that money. Now, after the money's just fizzling through the air, falling down to the ground, people are scrambling, grabbing the money. They're saying like this angered Pooh Shiesty. Now, there's conflicting stories at this point, right? Because then you got the prosecutor. You heard in the video, he don't want Pooh Shiesty to get out. He don't want him to get out. He want him to stay in there because they feel like this dude is a menace to society, okay? He's saying, look, Pooh Shiesty then pointed the fire at one of the securities and popped him right in the leg. From what Pooh Shiesty's lawyer is saying is that, no, that's not really the case. You know, Pooh Shiesty, he pulled it out, but it was an accident when it went off and it hit the guy in the ankle. He wasn't aiming it at anybody, but that's what happened. Now, they're trying to say Pooh Shiesty was upset, and that's when he let a shot off, okay? So, you know, we're getting conflicting stories with this whole thing, but that's what's going to happen in a situation like this, right? You got one group of people saying one thing, you got the other group saying another, and hopefully we'll find out the truth for this whole situation. Now, Pooh Shiesty has been giving a $10,000 bond for this situation, right? Now, he can't get out yet because guess what? He has another shooting that he is apparently responsible with, okay? Like, the shootings just continue to follow this guy, and before he can get out, he has to talk to a judge about that case. Now, listen, this whole thing is it's very sad, man. And look, people are always saying they want the real. Well, this is looking like the real. It's looking like this guy really lives what he raps about. Now, me personally, I feel like Pooh Shiesty is a goddamn menace to society. You guys ever seen the movie Dennis the Menace? That's Pooh Shiesty, man. Man, at some point, these young rappers, they got to start thinking to themselves of how not to trick themselves out of the bag. And it seems like a lot of them are tricking themselves out of the bag. Like, do you notice the first 1 or 2 years that they are famous, they're in and out of jail? Like, it's getting to the point where I'm starting to see some of my favorite rappers going to jail so much, I'm starting to think they got a boyfriend in there. To be honest with you guys, I don't know how many more times that Pooh Shiesty is going to be able to get away with this type of stuff until they actually lock him up, man. So at some point, he's going to have to smarten up and not put himself in a situation like this. Now, let's take a step back and let's really think about this, right? Because Pooh Shiesty put himself in a bad situation. In a situation where somebody smacked the money out of your pockets, man, you could have had your homies there. And you didn't even have to pull out the fire. And I know you missed the fire, but you didn't have to pull out the fire. If your homies was there, they could have handled those people trying to scramble for the money. Your homies would have handled those people. So it's one of those things where he got to stop putting himself in a situation like this, because it's only so many times that you can get away with these type of things, because guess what? The government is not stupid when it comes to this. You know what they like to do? They put you on a 5 to 10-year probation, and they know you're going to mess up again. They know you're going to mess up again. And guess what? When you mess up, you're going to jail, and they got you, because they know eventually the lifestyle that you're living is going to catch up with you one way or another. And if they're not going to get you today, they're going to get you in 6 months. Or they may get you in a year. Anyway, I'm Damas Live. Hope you guys had a great day. I love you guys. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I love talking about it. I love making videos. Never think your boy like just said, hey, I'm done with YouTube. Yo, I'm done with YouTube. I'm probably never going to be done with YouTube. Like, when it's all said and done, I'll be on my farm, because one day I do want to own a farm. I'll be on my farm with all my different cows and animals. and I'll still be making YouTube videos. Anyway, I love you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys turn on notifications. Never forget that. It feels good to be back. We'll talk more about that, man. All right, man. I'm going to go do my workout. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing good. I love y'all. Bye-bye.